I just got a really great idea. So I've had the school bell for like 7 years and I've never really known what to do with it except scare my wife when she has the hiccups. When I was a kid, my dad and I made this game out of a shoebox, a hanger, and a flashlight. You had a wand wrapped around the hanger and you try to move the wand from one end of the hanger to the other without trying to have the two touch. If the two did touch, it would light up the flashlight. I thought I'd remake this project and throw the bell into the mix. It's quite loud and should give people an extra incentive not to mess up. It does have a lot of exposed electrified wire, which isn't a big deal if it's just a flashlight, but the bell needs 110 volts. I'm not about to make this project if it needs that much electricity flowing through exposed wires. Thankfully though, there is a solution. Yep, what we got here is 12 volts, 750 milliamps coming in. When it completes the circuit, it activates the electromagnetic coil in there and completes the circuit for the 110 volts. What we got here is the bell that we're actually going to use in this project, and it's connected to your 110 volts. The 110 volts is connected to the relay switch, so it won't complete the connection unless you activate it by the 12 volts, half an amp that we got here. So that's the proof of concept right there. Let's actually build a case or something to put all this in. I decided to use material I salvaged from a shelf headboard thing meant for a bed. I removed a curved piece from the face, and from that I cut a couple side pieces at 6 7/8 inches. Then I cut a dado into each piece about 3/8 inch deep and 3/4 inch wide. Since I don't have a dado blade, I make multiple passes with the saw's regular blade, moving the fence no more than 1/8 inch at a time. This doesn't make a perfect dado, but it'll be workable. Next, I cut the face at 6 7/8 by 7 1/4 inches, which fits into the dado grooves in the side pieces. I then cut the top piece at 8 1/8 by 3 3/4, a bottom piece for everything to sit on at 8 1/8 by 6 1/2, and a back piece at 8 1/8 by 6 7/8 inches. They all fit together like this. On the face, I mark out a rectangle at 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. I drill a 1/2 inch hole somewhere inside that rectangle, which gives my jigsaw a starting point to cut out a rectangular hole, so that the bell can fit over it. Next, I drill a 1 1/2 inch hole through the top piece where the light socket will mount through, and use a grinder to modify the light's mounting bracket so it will work with this project. Next, I drill a 1/8 inch hole as close as I can to the bottom edge of the back piece, then run the piece over the table saw. This makes a gouge that the power cord can pass through. Next, I drill a 1 3/4 inch hole into the underside of the top piece, but only drill about halfway through the wood. Then I finish drilling through with a 1/2 inch bit. As you can see, this makes an ideal hole for an on-off switch to be installed in. Next, I make the wire that you're trying not to touch in the game by stripping the ground from the 6-foot length of household electrical cable. I run the blade of my utility knife along the center where the ground wire is and peel the outer insulation off, followed by the paper insulation, leaving me with a bare wire. I then use a 1 1/4 inch diameter dowel and wrap the bare wire around it whenever I want to bend. This makes a nicely rounded bend without any kinks. I do this along the entire length of wire, making it bend back and forth about every 3 inches. On the ends, I use the handles of this file to make a tighter bend. I run some lengths of shrink wrap insulation over these tighter bends. This will make an insulated hook on each end to hang the wand on. I then drill a 1/8 inch hole in the side pieces for the wire to go through. I then decide to route any edges that I cut with the table saw. With the bottom piece, I only route to where the sides meet up so it doesn't look so goofy. Next, I start gluing it together. First, I glue these little blocks into the corners, then drill pilot holes and run screws into them. This should give the whole box stronger joints. With the face and two sides clamped together, I focus on the bottom piece, drilling more pilot holes and countersinking screws to hold it together, and then glue the top piece on. The wooden box part of this project is complete, so I move on to the electrical part by fastening the power cord to the inside bottom of the box, hot gluing the 12-volt power transformer into a bottom corner, run the power cord's positive wire directly to the on-off switch, and fasten the switch into its hole. To make the wand for this game, I stripped a piece of solid copper wire about 1 foot long and wrapped one end completely around my wooden dowel, and then twisted the end of the wire back onto itself to make a circular wire loop. I then stripped the plastic off a tubular electrical connector and used it to connect a wire loop to the positive wire coming from the 12-volt power transformer. Before connecting it, I made sure to run the wire from the transformer out its very own hole on the side. I also removed the ink cartridge from a pen and drilled a hole into the end, removed the end cap and slid it over the wire. I then slid the pen tube up against the wire loop, filled it with hot glue, and then put the end cap back into the pen. This makes kind of a weird looking but effective wand for this game. I then ran the wire loop over the longer wire I bent earlier, then used screws to secure the ends inside the box. After that, I installed the light socket, securing it with 2 screws, then installed the bell, securing it with 4 screws, and reattaching the dome afterwards. This looks like a mess, but it's really quite simple. The power cord runs inside the box and the positive goes straight to a terminal on the power switch. 2 wires connected to the switch's other terminal run to the power transformer and to a threaded terminal on the relay. 2 2 more wires run from the trailer terminal to the bell and the light socket. The neutral leads from the light, bell, and transformer all connect to the power cord's neutral lead through this wire nut. Finally, the positive DC power lead coming from the transformer runs outside and into the wand, and another wire connects the squiggly copper wire to a lead in the relay's Molex connector, while the transformer's negative DC power lead connects to the air lead in the Molex connector. The power switch on top turns everything off, including the transformer, and when the wand touches the squiggly wire, the DC power circuit is completed, which energizes the relay and causes it to complete the 110 power circuit. The end result is... It scares you, so it makes you hit it even more. Looks like this bulb burnt out, so I'm going to try this fun blue one. There we go. Oh, awesome. So if you mess up, you get a very loud bell and a very bright blue light. Oh no, I messed up. Oh no. Now that I know it works, I drill pilot holes and countersink 4 screws to hold the back panel in place. This doubles as an access panel for the stuff inside. And of course I can't forget the felt feet. Now my game is finished. The game can be misleading. At first I thought it was too easy, but it took me 3 tries to make it from one end to the other. The difficulty has potential to be incredibly easy or insanely hard. It really just depends on how big of a loop the wand has and whatever crazy maze of copper wire that it has to move around. All in all, it's a good jump start and it takes 3 seconds to explain the objective, and best of all is the reaction from first-time players. Yeah.
It's still not.
Is that sweat coming off your You got cocky. Alright, so there you have it. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Busy, Bob. You want a bite?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have Oscar here, the 2-year-old beatboxer. Can you say beatbox?
Beatbox.
Yeah. He's practicing his beatboxing techniques.
Beatbox.
So if he just starts beatboxing, pardon him.
Beatbox.
We can talk about it later.
Not only is Oscar a beatboxer, but he also does a pretty good dolphin intimidation. As you can see right there. Can I see that screwdriver, please, Oscar? Thank you, sir. And you need a... So that's how it worked out. Oh no. Drilling holes just doesn't work. You need to put screws in as well. Oh.